Today, I had the opportunity of interviewing the founder of Mud Girl, which is a 3 mile long obstacle course in the mud made for women. And what I loved about the conversation and what I want you to really listen to is how to use advertising to sell your events and services. Because so many of us are stuck posting on Instagram, posting on Facebook, or on Pinterest, and then we sit there and expect people to come and buy from us. And that's not how it works. So, what Kevin Pilu did, which he is the founder of Mud Girl, is that he walks us step by step on how he uses advertising to sell out thousands of tickets and his 40 events across the world. This is something you're going to learn so much about, and it's going to make a big impact in your business. And if you know other female entrepreneurs, definitely send them this episode. And I hope you enjoy the conversation. Start me from the beginning, because I want to know, how did you come up with even the concept of Mud Girl?
Well, it's all started in 2017. We first launched the event Mud Girl in Canada, and then in the US in 2019 in Las Vegas. The idea was pretty simple. We used to do a couple of obstacle racing, my brother and I, and we find out that technically it's very towards men. It talks to men a little bit more than women.
Yes.
You have a lot of obstacles that we need to use your upper body, and which is maybe a little bit more difficult for women in general. So we decided to create something dedicated 100% for women in 2017.
So you consider that. So when you're doing the obstacles, you consider our lower body strength when you're doing it?
Yeah, it can be a little bit difficult. When you have monkey bar stuff, it's
Right.
For example, it's easy for kids. It can be a little bit more difficult for adults, and especially for
Right.
women. Women are more straight in maybe in legs, for example.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
it's totally normal. But this is the official reason. There is another reason why we started Mud Girl, business-wise.
Tell me.
So in 2017, well, we used to do events in the past before 2017. We started in 2013. So at the beginning of the obstacle racing, we used to do obstacle racing in winter. It's called Polar Hero. It was mainly in Canada for sure, in February and March. And we also did different races like Bubble Run, it's called Big Bubble Tour. And we sold this event to a company. By selling this event, we were lacking of revenues because they were taking care of the marketing, and they're taking care of the revenues and the tickets sold and everything. But the problem is that they never paid us the amount that we sold. So we were in a situation where in February, March 2017, we were in an event, so our event, obstacle racing, and our landlord called us to say that our check for the rental of a warehouse bounced. So technically,
Wow.
the reason why we started Mud Girl is we were in a hotel room, my brother and I, in Canada, and then we talk about event that we need to create. And in 1 week, we figured out a venue, a website, everything, and we started Mud Girl, and we
Amazing.
sold 5,000 tickets in 3 months. So we went from almost bankruptcy to create. But this is sometimes in adversity, this is where we create the most.
Yeah.
And you're able to rebound, and so that's the true story behind Mud Girl.
But do you think that you were able to sell that many tickets because you had the experience of the marketing and you knew how to get to people, how to get across that Mud Girl was here?
I think the targeting helped us a lot. I think the experience helped us a lot in the production of the event.
Okay.
Because when you produce an event, we used to produce event with 2,000, 3,000 people. But for this one, it was a game changer. It was 9,000 people for the first event. It's not the same to organize an event for 1,000 to 3,000 or to 10,000.
Oh, yes.
It's completely different.
It
So
is.
it helped us. We had the experience of 9,000, and even that, it was still not easy. But to sell ticket marketing and everything, it was a little bit different. Like at the beginning, we hired a company to help us. That's the first thing we did in 2013 when we started our events. because we think that it's better to hire professional to do this kind of stuff. So we decided
Hmm.
to hire a company. Then we start to do by ourselves, and then
Okay.
we came back to with a company. So
So you started with a company so that you could learn targeting ads, everything they did, and then you were able to learn and do it on your own.
exactly, yeah. But one thing that helped us a lot back in the days in 2017 when we started this event is that there is a lot of people that was not understanding what we were doing. So in the middle of this obstacle racing bubble, kind of, there is different race, Spartan and Tough Mudder, but there is also local race. And then so they were wondering why we created an obstacle racing for women, and they
Yes.
were accusing us of sexism and stuff, which is not.
I think it's quite the
Also,
opposite.
it's quite the opposite, exactly. And
Yes.
and and they were acting like sexism. They were saying like, "Oh, are you going to do a race where the obstacle is you put your bags and people they run, very bad word and bad things."
Yeah.
And technically, this a bad buzz is a buzz, so it helped us a lot because a lot of people were talking about this as a new event, and as a result, they comment a lot our publication and stuff on different group. So he bring us a lot of advertising and a lot of free marketing. So we say, okay,
Hmm.
yeah, you can talk about us. You can talk about us, but in a bad way. As soon as you talk about us,
Yeah.
that's the most
Because
important.
you got, like you said, you got free marketing off of it.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's better.
And now, okay, so I know you learned the targeting and the advertising from that company, and now you were saying that that's your strong suit, right? Like that's what you like to handle?
Yeah, no, we know how it works for sure. We still have another company that we hired in 2018. So it's been now 5 years, 6 years now that we are with them. We have strategists in our company. In our own company, we have a marketing director, we have communication, people and stuff. And I'm doing also the strategy. But we also have a company that help us,
It helps you.
especially with Facebook mostly and Instagram. So yeah, mostly with Meta.
Is that what's really working for you more meta than like Google?
We try Google. Google's it can be good sometimes, especially when you arrive in a new market and people that don't know anything about you or in a new country. For example, we did that in the
Mhm.
US when we arrived in the US in 2019. But as I know, like yeah, Meta, it's kind of wonderful. We can spend of course we spend a lot of money on Facebook to be able to be viewed by a lot of people. We have a lot of ads everywhere. Yeah, we're talking about spending sometimes 25,000 a day in the
Wow.
US, for example. This is what we're doing right
Yeah.
now.
And I want you to clarify something because sometimes when people hear Facebook and Instagram, they think that means that you're like posting a picture of Mud Girl every day or something, right? Tell people what's the difference between just posting on Meta versus what you're saying, which is actually big money into the advertising into Meta.
Yeah, it's a question that some entrepreneur asks sometimes. How do you do marketing and stuff? Because like I do my marketing, I post on Insta, and I ask them, what are you doing? And they say, oh, I
Hmm.
post online and I post. Yeah, posting for posting. Okay, fine, but only 10% of your followers is going to see it. So if you want more people to see your publication, you need to spend some budget. So that's something that is very important because you cannot reach your target without pay for ads. It's not
Yes,
possible. If you think that okay, I'm going to post something and then everybody going to see it,
it's
it's
not going to
false.
happen.
It's not going to happen for sure.
Right. And now you're spending 25,000, but how about when that check bounced and you like had the 1 week in the hotel? Like where did you come up with the advertising budget back then?
By our own money, for sure. We
Okay.
inject a little bit, and then after that, day after day, we were, making money, so we re-inject right away.
Re-putting it
Yeah,
in.
we're refunding everything. So this is how we did. We used a little bit of our money, and then after that, we were able to, to scale and make more money.
And what's your return on the advertising budget you have right now?
Well, usually we are around our return on investment. We're aiming to have always a ROI of 3.
Hmm.
So technically, if I spend $25,000, I'm expecting to make a revenue of $75,000 a day. Sometimes it's three, sometimes a little bit less, sometimes it can be a little bit higher depending on the campaign. But
Mhm.
yeah, technically, this is the goal of our team is to reach three, return on
Which
investment
is
of three, which is
which,
which is
great.
doable. It's a good number.
Hmm.
It's doable. It depends on the industry also because there may be some industry might be a little bit more difficult, but for us, three is a good number if you want some results. So test every time. You have your target. So first, you need to know your target. That's the most
Yes.
important things ever because if I sell mud girl to men, it's not going to work. But if I sell
Yes. It's
mud girl
definitely not gonna work.
to women from 25 to 45 years old, it might work. So I know this is our target, and that's the first
Hmm.
thing. And then after that, you change the copy content. You test different things, audio, music, video, everything that can change. That
The
can
photo, the description, the headline. You're testing everything.
testing everything, and then the first thing that yeah, you budget it and you scale. Most important. Don't be afraid of scaling. Like even if you see the industry going down a little bit, yeah, don't be afraid of scaling. That's the most important
Yeah.
thing. If it works, like go big or go home, like they said. But that's true. You need to go big. You need to increase more and more revenue. This is how it works, and this is what we did. Like in 2022, it was a huge success. In 2022, it was not a huge success for Mud Girl, based on recession. It was a little bit more difficult for us. We were planning a season with 100,000 participants in the US, and we only had 50,000, which
Wow.
was very difficult for us. Back in 2023, we changed a lot of things, especially in marketing. Focus on
Okay.
when I told you. Also, we also use a lot the emergency button, kind of like a register now, or you're going to miss an
Okay.
opportunity. This is something we do a lot, and it works. So if you want to sell something, you always use the emergency plan.
Yeah, you give them some sense of urgency. So that's one of the things you changed between 2022 and 2023, adding more urgency to it. Or do
More
you think
urgency, yeah.
was there something else that you changed that you think made 2023 more successful?
Also, Meta was a little bit down in 2022. It was a little bit complicated with Facebook
Hmm.
back in 2022. They changed a lot of
Hmm.
things. It's getting better. We hire a marketing director. I don't know. There is a lot of things that we change. We increase our
Okay.
budget. So, and also we lower the price. That's also
Okay.
something that we did a little bit considering the recession and stuff. So we
Hmm.
lower a little bit our price and it works. So that's, combined with all this, it works for us. In 2023, we were able to reach 120,000 participants in 2023, which was a
Wow.
big year. This year, we already sold 100, yeah. So it's kind of
That's amazing.
crazy.
And we're in April. And we're in
We were in
April.
April, so we
That's
might
amazing.
be around 200,000 participants for this year, which is good. It's very good, and so we hope that in 2025 it's going to be even better.
You have an email list, right? Because how about, they always say if Facebook goes away or Instagram goes away or something happens, like how do you reach that audience? Like for example, if you can't advertise on Facebook anymore or something happens, like how do you reach the audience? Are you keeping like do you have an email list like
Oh
your
yeah, so that's another
clients?
thing. That's another thing. The emailing list is something very important. We have an SMS
Yes.
list, emailing
Okay.
list. So for sure,
Okay.
I was talking about mostly Facebook and Instagram, but technically we also do a lot of marketing with our email list. I think we have like almost 200,000 email. So that's very important. So no, that's why I was saying like when you arrive in a new city, you say to
Hmm.
people, "Hey, we're coming. You want to know when you're going to be here? Give us our email." And that's the reason why we also collect email. Also, when people they go on site on the website, if you give your email, then you have 15%. And the last thing,
Right.
SMS. This is something we start 2 years ago
Okay.
when it was the beginning of SMS, text SMS. And this is
Yes.
also a huge impact because technically, when you open the open rate for an email is about maybe let's say 10-15%, and the click rate might be way less than that. But SMS is 90% of opening rate because
That's a big
everybody,
difference.
when you receive an SMS, you will open for sure.
Yeah.
So even if you
Yeah,
don't click,
we're trained. We're trained. We're trained like you hear
exa-
that thing and you open it.
ex- exactly, and that's helped us a lot also for crisis communication. That what we did this weekend. So we had to cancel an event because of flooding,
Right.
and so we were able to reach our participants before they arrive on site. So we closed the site, thunderstorm, everything flooded. So we reached them out by SMS and social media. So everybody knew that the event was canceled. To build a list is very, very important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because one day, if there is no more Facebook or no more
No, yeah,
Instagram,
that's why I was
you will
asking. If there's no
you
more
will still
Facebook or
have
no more Instagram.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you will still have your list, and this is like kind of your most important participant or more important customer, because they are
Yes.
reliable. They want to have the information. They will buy the tickets, and we saw that even when we resell tickets. When after the event is done, for example, sometime after right after the event, we announced the date 1 year after, so 1 year before. So
Correct.
you have an event on Saturday. On Sunday, we're gonna resell for next year. It's always working like this. And we have some cities. Sometimes we are sold out the day or 2, 3 days right after. Mostly cities in Canada because we are there since a long time. Montreal, this is our main cities. This is where Mud got born. But the first last year we sold 7,000 tickets in 48 hours. So we were sold out pretty quickly. So that's also, and we didn't use any ads because we only use our list. So
Yeah.
it's kind of more profit for us when we also do that.
Yeah. And it's super smart because everyone has just been at the race. They're super excited. They're still on that high of like, I just did this. And they're like, I want to do it again. So it's just great to target them
Exactly.
like right there.
Exactly. Yeah. And the price is better also. So of course it's better for everyone.
The next one, which is in Palm Beach, is less than a month away. And I'm going to be there.
That's on a month
And
away. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
yes. And I'm
Big
super
events.
excited to go. Yes. For me, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Survivor, and I always like wanted to do all the obstacle courses and things like that. So that to me, I'm like, yes, like this is like me being on Survivor. I'm going to go and do all the obstacle course and prove to myself that I can do it.
Sure, you will. That's why we create that. We want everyone to, like, everyone is an athlete. Everyone is an
Hmm.
athlete. As soon as you want to start something, we can tell that you're an athlete. You just need to do it. That's the most important.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes people, they are afraid to do this type of activities because it's tough, it's difficult. We live in a world where elite are, you see the elite, the athlete. But like, if you want to do something, the people, they want to try something, why not? You're able to do
Yeah.
it, let's do it.
So I do a lot of event production, big event production. I have also done events for 10,000 plus. When in the US, you do how many races in the US?
19.
19 in the US, and the rest are in Europe
The rest are in Canada and Europe. We
and
have
Canada and Europe.
37 events, so
So
half of the event are in the US.
are you actually producing every single one? Like, are you moving the equipment and you produce all of them,
Yeah, we
your
produce
team?
all of them in North America, but
Hmm.
none in Europe. In Europe, we have a production team that we
That
hire
produces it over there.
that produces
Okay.
over there. With our material, we do we do everything, marketing and everything. But they hire the staff and they do the events
Right. Exactly.
with
They
us.
actually like put it together over there with you. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Got it. And then when you're doing them here, how are you finding, like, how do you find what city is going to be successful at, or the venue? Like, what are you looking for?
That's a very good question, because sometimes there is city that work very well. Sometimes there is city where it's a little bit more difficult. But usually a city with more than 300,000 people works. We also like to
Oh,
work
okay.
now with CVB. So we like to work with cities. Like we go to sports events, conference, tourism, to see if the city can help us. Like right now we have someone flying to Portland to meet some cities that want to host this kind of event. That's very important
Oh,
to
okay.
work with cities, because for permit, they also know the venues, because this is also something, venues hunting is something I used to do, especially in the US in 2018. I
Hmm.
used to travel a lot in the US to find the perfect venue. So because this is also something, if you can find the cities, but if you can find a venue, that might be a little bit
Yeah.
complicated. There's a lot of
Yeah.
cities where we would like to come, but we also need the perfect venue for this type of event, and that's
Yeah.
not easy sometimes.
So that's super smart. So you work with the city first that's interested in your event, and then they help you out, right? They help you out with the permits, with the right venue.
Exactly,
That's,
yeah.
yeah.
Sometimes we do on our own if we really want to target a city. Like
Right.
we wanted to go to Oregon, for example, and we started to do a first event in Portland,
Hmm.
between Portland and Seattle, most Portland, yeah. But yeah, then we find out the venue, we fly out over there, and then we do everything on our own. And then we start a campaign also. We don't arrive in a city like this, you know. In marketing, you need to people, they need to know you before they buy something. You
Yes.
cannot arrive and say, "Hey, hello, we are here. Please buy a ticket." You know, it's not working like this. So what we do a marketing campaign saying that, "Hey guys, like we are coming to your city. We are coming to Portland. Will you be interested by our event? Just register, give us your email, and then you will become part. You will be part of our VIP section when we're gonna open and everything. So if we come to your city, this is how we know also if there is an interest in the city. You know,
So you're
so
doing that before you even book the venue?
yeah,
That's great. So you're
we
getting
do
that
that in
interest
some.
first.
So we know where if there is an interest. If there is
Right.
an interest, we say, okay, let's find a venue, let's talk to the city. And then we come to the city and say, hey, we have 1,000 email of people that want us to come. Can you help us to find a venue and stuff like this? Yeah. So it works.
Yeah.
But sometimes there is cities that is very difficult to find. You know, like San Francisco, it's been 6 years, very difficult. Atlanta, very difficult. It's difficult to find it, but if we have people from Atlanta or San Francisco listening to us, we are open.
Yes. Yeah. I was just in Atlanta for a big event, and it's that's a giant city.
Yeah, that
You
was
should go
nice.
to Puerto Rico. That's where I'm from.
Oh yeah, hey, it's very nice. I like Puerto Rico. It's very
Yeah,
cool.
and
We
Puerto
I
Rico
actually
has
we talk with Puerto Rico about bringing the
yeah,
event over there. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's true.
yeah. And Puerto Rico
I'm
has
sure there
some
is a lot of money
great places
for sure.
to
Big
do Mud
venues and
Girl.
stuff.
Yeah,
That would
and
be
the
awesome. Yeah.
weather. It has a lot of the things that I'm sure that you're looking for.
Yeah, for sure. We were looking also for Hawaii. There is some events over there, but it's a different production and logistics for sure.
Absolutely. I bet that one of the biggest costs for you is transportation, right? Transporting all of the obstacles.
Yeah, yeah. If you go to a venue like Hawaii, it can cost
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah. I do
of
a lot
money
of
for us.
fashion shows for people in Europe, and the transportation is just, I mean, it eats a
It's
lot
insane.
out of
Yeah,
your budget.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
So that's one of the things I'm sure you're like, okay, yeah, we got to figure out how to transport all of this. So you've been at Mud Girl for many years, right? You've been at this, and it's a successful brand. So now, which I think is great because you have waited until right it has a certain amount of success and you know how to do this. Now you're gonna work on something next, a new project. So can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so we decided to launch a new foundation, our own foundation. It's called the Pink Army Foundation.
Hmm.
In the past, back in the but not back in the days, but just to rewind in 2017. So we started the event Mud Girl in Montreal. It's a huge success. My brother and I, we decided to give money back. So we knock on door of different foundation. Breast Cancer Foundation was
Hmm.
the one that we were targeting. In our family, our aunt died from breast cancer foundation. So for us, there was a link somewhere, and we wanted to
Yeah.
give money back. So we decided to do that. I think, in 5 years, we reached $250,000 that we give back to a foundation. It's not mandatory for a race to give money to a foundation, but we wanted to do it. Of
Yeah.
course, and I understand, but we want to make sure that people they understand that we are not a foundation. Like at the beginning, we are a corporation, and
Hmm.
then we make money, and then after that we take a part of our profit and we give to a foundation. But that's very important. We have been very clear since the beginning because some people at the beginning they were thinking that we were the foundation doing the event or all the profit going to, but it was very clear with the foundation. It was very clear with our participants. But we also realized that just giving money, it's nice to give money to a foundation, but we wanted to do something bigger than that. So we have a
Yeah.
new project, Pink Army Foundation. We call that the Everest Project. So in about 5 years, what we want, if we want to bring breast cancer survivors, maybe 100, 150 breast cancer survivors to do a challenge. That's what we call the Everest Project, like to climb the Everest. So it's just a metaphor because we're not going to do the Everest, but we want to do like a challenge, a sports challenge to bring them,
Hmm.
to help them, coach them. What we want first, we want to bring them hope. We have some breast cancer survivors in our team working with us. So we know, young people, and we know that sometimes when you're in the middle of the process and everything, it's difficult to keep hope.
Hmm.
to see the future of that. So what we want
Yeah.
is what we want to bring this hope, and we want to make sure that when they are doing their therapy and everything, we're going to be there after that. So after the therapy, we're going to help them for with habits, food, coaching, and we want to train them to be able to do a challenge that will never think they will be able to do it. So that's the main vision of the Pink Army Foundation for the next 5 years. I say 5 years because it takes always some time. We want to raise
Hmm.
money. We want to do some different. If it happen in the next 3 years, we're going to be very happy. We also want to be able to give tickets to breast cancer survivors. We want them to come to our event for free. And we also have a group of our staff in every city where we're going. We try to go to a different hospital, clinic when you have breast cancer survivors, and to give like socks and to explain what we're doing, recruiting
Hmm.
for a project and stuff like this. So yeah, we want to be more involved. It's
Hmm.
maybe we're gonna still give some money also to other foundation. We can mix things, but we also
Yeah.
want to do something and be more involved. I think that's the most important. Involvement is one of our values, part of our values, and this is something that we want to be behind. We want to be more involved in what we're doing, and that's the main reason why we started our this foundation.
That sounds
So
amazing.
yeah, that's one of the projects. Of course, we're also working on 2025. So we're already starting with the calendar of 2025, and then we'll see. There's a lot of ideas. This is something I always say to my employees or some entrepreneurs. Sometimes it's very easy to have an idea. You look around you, you have an idea for this, and that. But to be
All day
able
long.
to bring this idea like
Hmm.
doable and working, that's something a little bit different. It requires a lot of different skills, and a lot of passion. So because we studied a lot of different projects in the past, but if you don't have the passion, it's difficult. So first you need
Yeah.
to have the passion, and then after that, yeah, you're going to be able to do it. But yeah, wait and see. We're working on different projects. We'll see what's going on in 2025.
I love that. I love this trend of events geared at women, right? Like you see the WNBA right now, and you see like all
Yeah.
of these, amazing, amazing events, and you can see how eager we are. Like we're like, we can do it, let's do it, like so it's so fabulous to see events like
Yeah,
this.
and this is something, the mission of our company is we inspire, we unite, but also we
Hmm.
can, it's in Mudgirl is we can, we will, we are.
Hmm.
So this is exactly what you said,
I
we
love
can, we
that.
will, we are. Yeah. So that's very important. The empowerment of everyone, and women especially. I think this is
Yes.
something that we need to, back in the days, I think not too long ago, um, it was a girl that do the marathon of, I don't remember where, I think it was in the US, but everybody, she was running. You know the story of the first woman that ran a marathon,
Mm-mm.
and everybody was booing her and trying not to finish the race, and then she became very popular because of that. And then yeah, it was the beginning of the empowerment of women in sports. It's Catherine Switzer. It was in 1967, so yeah, a little bit more than
Yeah.
60 years.
Yeah.
Almost
That's
60 years. Yeah.
not that long ago when you in the
Yeah,
scheme of things.
she was the first woman to run the Boston Marathon.
Amazing. We can,
Yeah,
we will, we are. I love that.
we can, we will, we are. Exactly.
I
Yeah.
love it.